Dr. Elena Vasquez stepped off the transport shuttle and felt her boots touch alien soil for the first time. The crystalline surface of Zephyria sparkled beneath two purple suns, creating patterns of light that danced across the landing platform. She had trained for this moment for 5 years, but nothing could have prepared her for the beauty of this world. "Stay close to the group," warned Captain Morrison, the head of the human diplomatic team. "We don't know their customs yet." Elena nodded and adjusted her translation device. As the team's xenobiologist, she would be studying the Zephyrian people while the diplomats worked on trade agreements. This was humanity's first official contact with the Zephyrian Empire, and everyone was nervous. The Zephyrians who greeted them looked like living sculptures made of pale blue crystal. They moved with graceful, flowing motions and communicated through both sound and light patterns that flickered across their translucent skin. Their leader introduced himself as Ambassador Kethran. "Welcome, humans," Kethran said through their translation devices. "Queen Zilandra awaits your presence in the Crystal Palace." The journey to the palace took them through a city unlike anything Elena had ever seen. Buildings grew from the ground like enormous gems, and vehicles floated silently through the air. Gardens filled with strange glowing plants lined the streets. But Elena noticed something odd. There were very few young Zephyrians around. Most appeared to be adults or elderly. "Ambassador," Elena asked carefully, "where are the children?" Kethran's light patterns dimmed. "That is complicated. Perhaps the queen will explain." The Crystal Palace rose before them like a mountain of pure diamond. Inside, the walls pulsed with soft light, and the floors felt warm beneath their feet. Guards led them through corridors filled with beautiful artwork and strange machines that hummed with energy. Queen Zilandra waited for them in a vast throne room. She was taller than the other Zephyrians, and her crystalline body held deeper shades of blue and silver. Light patterns flowed across her form like slow lightning. When she spoke, her voice carried both authority and sadness. "Humans," she said, "you are most welcome. We have watched your species from afar and find you fascinating." Captain Morrison stepped forward. "Your Majesty, we come seeking friendship and mutual benefit. Our worlds could share knowledge and resources." "Yes," the Queen agreed, but her attention seemed focused on Elena. "You study life, do you not, Dr. Vasquez?" Elena felt surprised that the Queen knew her name and specialty. "I do, Your Majesty. I'm a xenobiologist." "Excellent. You will stay as our honored guest. We have much to discuss about life." Over the following days, Elena found herself spending more time with Zephyrian scientists than the diplomatic team. The Zephyrians were incredibly advanced. They had mastered energy manipulation, space travel, and even consciousness transfer. But she began to notice troubling signs. Dr. Velthar, the chief Zephyrian scientist, showed Elena through their research facilities. The technology was amazing, but the labs felt empty and quiet. "How long has it been since you've had new researchers? Join your team?" Elena asked. Velthar's light patterns flickered with what Elena was learning meant discomfort. "Many cycles. We do not produce new individuals as we once did." "You mean you don't have children?" "Not in the way your species understands. We evolved beyond such primitive biological processes centuries ago. We transfer consciousness from existing individuals instead." Elena felt a chill. "But that means your population can only stay the same or decrease." "Precisely. Each generation we lose some individuals to accidents or old age. We cannot replace them." That evening, Elena was summoned to a private dinner with Queen Zilandra. The Queen's quarters were beautiful but felt lonely. They ate foods that tasted like liquid starlight, while the Queen asked many questions about human biology. "Your species still reproduces naturally?" the Queen asked. Yes, we do. It's how we've always created new generations. The Queen's light patterns pulsed thoughtfully. And you create entirely new individuals, not copies of existing ones? Each human is unique, with traits from both parents, but completely their own personality and potential. Remarkable. The Queen leaned forward. Dr. Vasquez, may I share something with you? A secret that weighs heavily on my people? Elena nodded, sensing this was important. We did not choose to abandon natural reproduction. We lost the ability gradually, over many generations. What we called evolution was actually slow extinction. We convinced ourselves that consciousness transfer was superior, but the truth is, we simply could no longer create new life. How long do you have? Elena asked gently. Perhaps 50 more generations if we are careful, but each year we lose more of our people. Our empire spans many worlds, but it is an empire of the dying. Elena felt the weight of this revelation. An entire advanced civilization was facing extinction, and they had invited humans here not just for trade, but possibly for help. Why are you telling me this? Elena asked. The Queen's light patterns shifted to what Elena had learned meant hope mixed with desperation. Because in the short time you have been here, something unprecedented has happened. Our medical scanners detect changes in our reproductive systems that we have not seen in centuries. Small changes, but measurable ones. What kind of changes? Dormant pathways are showing activity. Biological processes we thought were gone forever are stirring to life. And the only variable that has changed is your presence among us. Elena felt her heart racing. You think humans might be connected to this somehow? I do not know. But I hope. For the first time in many generations, I allow myself to hope. The Queen stood and moved to a window overlooking her crystal city. Tomorrow, I would like you to undergo some medical examinations. Voluntary ones, of course. We need to understand what makes your species so vital. Elena looked out at the beautiful but eerily quiet city. Somewhere in the distance, she could see other Zephyrians going about their daily lives, unaware that their queen was desperately searching for a way to save them all. Of course, Your Majesty. If there's any chance we can help, I want to try. The Queen's light patterns brightened with what Elena now recognized as gratitude. Thank you, Dr. Vasquez. You may not realize it yet, but you might hold the key to saving my entire civilization. That night, Elena lay in her crystalline guest room, staring up at the alien stars through her transparent ceiling. She had come to Zephyria expecting to study alien biology. She never imagined she might become the subject of the most important biological study in galactic history. The next morning, Elena woke to find soft chimes echoing through her crystal chambers. A gentle voice spoke through the room's communication system. Dr. Vasquez, this is Dr. Veltar. Are you ready for the medical examinations? Elena stretched and looked out at the twin purple suns rising over the crystal city. Yes, I'll be ready in a few minutes. The medical facility was unlike anything Elena had seen on Earth. Instead of cold metal tables and harsh lights, everything was made of warm, living crystal that pulsed with soft energy. The Zephyrian medical team moved around her like graceful dancers, their light patterns flickering with scientific curiosity. Please lie here. Dr. Velthar indicated a crystal platform that molded itself to Elena's body shape. We will begin with basic scans. You will feel nothing. Elena settled onto the platform as strange devices hummed to life around her. Beams of colored light played across her body, while screens filled with data she couldn't understand. The Zephyrian scientists gathered around the displays, their light patterns growing brighter with excitement. Fascinating, Dr. Velthar whispered. Your electromagnetic field is completely different from what we expected. What do you mean? Elena asked. All living beings produce electromagnetic energy from their nervous systems and cellular activity. But humans, your patterns are unique. They create harmonics we have never encountered. Another scientist, Dr. Zareth, pointed at a swirling pattern on one of the screens. Look at these resonance frequencies. They match theoretical calculations we made decades ago about optimal reproductive catalyst energies. Elena sat up, concerned. Reproductive catalyst? What does that mean? Dr. Velthar's light patterns shifted to what Elena recognized as careful explanation. Long ago, when our species could still reproduce naturally, our scientists theorized about external factors that might enhance fertility. They calculated specific electromagnetic frequencies that could stimulate dormant reproductive pathways. But we never found a natural source for such energies. Until now, Dr. Zareth added, gesturing at Elena. You're saying my body produces energy that could help your reproduction? Elena asked, trying to understand. Potentially, but we need more data. Dr. Velthar activated another device. With your permission, we would like to conduct deeper scans and perhaps test our theory. Elena thought about the dying civilization around her. What kind of test? We would like Queen Zil-Andra to spend time in close proximity to you while we monitor her biological systems. If our theory is correct, your presence should stimulate reproductive pathways that have been inactive. For centuries, Elena felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. And if it works, then you might be the key to saving our entire species. An hour later, Elena found herself in a comfortable chamber with Queen Zil-Andra. The queen sat across from her, surrounded by monitoring devices that tracked every biological process in her crystalline body. Are you comfortable with this experiment, Dr. Vasquez? The queen asked. I want to help, Elena replied. Your people have been kind to us. If there's any chance I can make a difference, I have to try. They spent the morning talking about their respective worlds, while Zephyrian scientists monitored the Queen's vital signs from an adjacent room. Elena learned about Zephyrian history, their great achievements in science and art, and the slow realization that they were dying out. We built magnificent cities across dozens of worlds, the Queen explained. We mastered energy and matter. We thought we had transcended the need for primitive biological processes, but we were wrong. Evolution doesn't always mean progress, Elena said gently. Sometimes what seems primitive is actually essential. Suddenly, alarms began chiming softly throughout the chamber. Dr. Velthar's voice came through the communication system, filled with excitement. Your Majesty, we are detecting unprecedented biological activity. Dormant reproductive organs are showing signs of activation. Hormone levels are fluctuating in patterns we have not seen for over 300 years. Elena looked at the Queen, whose light patterns were pulsing with what could only be described as amazement. It's working, the Queen whispered. After all these centuries, I can feel changes, stirrings of biological processes I thought were lost forever. Over the following days, the experiments continued. Elena spent several hours each day with Queen Zil-Andra while scientists monitored the results. The changes in the Queen's biology were remarkable. Systems that had been dormant for centuries were slowly coming back to life. The electromagnetic resonance is key, Dr. Velthar explained to Elena during one of their research sessions. Your human bioelectric field creates specific frequencies that interact with Zephyrian reproductive biology. It's like turning on a switch that has been off for generations. But why humans specifically? Elena asked. What makes us different? Dr. Zareth pulled up complex charts on his displays. Your species evolved under different conditions than ours. You maintained natural reproduction throughout your development. Your nervous systems, your cellular energy patterns, even your genetic structure. Everything about human biology is optimized for creating and sustaining life. We, on the other hand, evolved in ways that gradually reduced our reproductive capabilities, Dr. Velthar added. We gained other abilities: consciousness transfer, energy manipulation, extended lifespans, but we lost the fundamental ability to create new life. Elena studied the data flowing across the screens. So humans might be able to help other species with similar problems? Theoretically, yes. If other civilizations have faced reproductive decline, human bioelectric fields might be able to reactivate their dormant systems as well. The implications were staggering. Elena realized she might be looking at humanity's unique role in the galaxy, not as conquerors or traders, but as bringers of life to dying civilizations. That evening, Queen Zilandra summoned Elena to her private chambers. The Queen's light patterns were brighter than Elena had ever seen them, pulsing with energy and hope. "Dr. Vasquez," the Queen began, "the medical teams have confirmed it. For the first time in over 3 centuries, my reproductive system is fully active. The biological processes necessary for creating new life have been restored." Elena felt a surge of joy and wonder. "That's incredible, Your Majesty." "More than incredible. It is miraculous." The Queen moved to her window, looking out at her crystal city. "But this raises new questions. If one human can restore reproductive function to one Zephyrian, what about the rest of my people? What about other species facing extinction?" Elena joined the Queen at the window. In the distance, she could see Zephyrians going about their daily lives, unaware that hope for their species' future was being reborn in this very palace. "We'll need to be careful," Elena said. "Study the process thoroughly. Make sure it's safe for everyone involved." "Agreed. But Elena, may I call you Elena?" "Of course, Your Majesty." "Elena, you must understand what this means. You are not just a scientist or a diplomat anymore. You may be the key to saving entire civilizations. The responsibility is enormous." Elena took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the Queen's words. She had come to Zephyria to study alien life. Instead, she had discovered that human life might be the most precious resource in the galaxy. "I understand, Your Majesty, and I'm ready to help however I can." The Queen's light patterns shifted to deep gratitude and determination. "Then we must begin planning. Because if this works for my people, we will need to share this gift with the galaxy. And that will change everything." 3 weeks after the initial discovery, Elena found herself in the largest research laboratory on Zephyria. The crystal walls pulsed with data streams, while dozens of Zephyrian scientists worked around massive computers that hummed with energy. She had become the center of the most important scientific study in their civilization's history. "Elena, please look at this," Dr. Velthar called from across the laboratory. He was standing before a wall-sized display showing complex molecular structures. "We have made an incredible discovery." Elena walked over, still amazed by how easily she had adapted to life among the Zephyrians. The translation devices now felt natural, and she had learned to read their basic light pattern emotions. "What did you find?" she asked. "Your human DNA contains genetic sequences we have never seen before," Dr. Zareth explained, joining them at the display. "These sequences control the production of specific proteins that generate your unique electromagnetic field." On the screen, Elena could see spiraling genetic codes highlighted in bright colors. "What makes them so special?" "They appear to be evolutionary adaptations for genetic diversity," Dr. Velthar said. "Your species developed these traits over millions of years of natural reproduction. They ensure that each new human is genetically unique while maintaining biological compatibility." "But here's the remarkable part," Dr. Zareth added excitedly. These same genetic sequences produce electromagnetic frequencies that perfectly match the resonance patterns needed to activate reproductive systems in multiple alien species. Elena stared at the data. You mean humans could help other dying civilizations, not just Zephyrians? Exactly. We have been conducting theoretical calculations based on biological data from 17 different species facing reproductive decline. In every case, human bioelectric fields should be able to reactivate their dormant systems. Dr. Velthar activated another display showing a map of nearby star systems. The Andromedans lost their fertility 200 years ago. The Vorthon Empire has been declining for 5 centuries. The Crystalline Confederacy hasn't had a new birth in over 400 years. All of them could potentially be helped by human intervention. Elena felt overwhelmed by the implications. But how would this work practically? I can't travel to every dying world in the galaxy. That's what we're working on, Dr. Velthar said. We need to understand the exact mechanism so we can develop treatment protocols that are safe and effective. Over the following days, Elena participated in more detailed experiments. The Zephyrian scientists used advanced scanners to map every aspect of her bioelectric field. They studied how her electromagnetic patterns changed during different activities and emotional states. They even analyzed her blood and tissue samples at the molecular level. Your human immune system is also remarkable, Dr. Zarath reported during one session. It produces antibodies that we have never encountered. These may be part of the reproductive catalyst effect. How so? Elena asked. Many species that lost reproductive ability also developed problems with their immune systems. Your antibodies appear to trigger healing responses in alien biology that restore damaged reproductive organs. Queen Zelandra visited the laboratory regularly to check on their progress. The changes in her were becoming more obvious each day. Her light patterns were brighter and more varied. She moved with greater energy. Most importantly, medical scans showed that her reproductive system was now fully functional for the first time in centuries. How do you feel, Your Majesty? Elena asked during one of the Queen's visits. Like I am truly alive for the first time, the Queen replied. For generations, my people have existed without truly living. We maintained ourselves, but could not grow, could not create new possibilities. Now I feel potential, hope for futures we never dared imagine. But the research also revealed challenges. Dr. Velthar showed Elena concerning data from their latest experiments. The reproductive catalyst effect requires sustained exposure, he explained. Brief contact is not enough. For full restoration of reproductive function, alien subjects need regular interaction with human bioelectric fields over extended periods. How extended? Elena asked. For Zephyrians, approximately 3 months of daily contact. For other species, it could be longer or shorter depending on their biology. Elena realized the complexity of what they were discovering. So it's not a quick fix. It's a long-term treatment process. Exactly. And it requires willing cooperation from both the human catalyst and the alien subjects. Forced exposure would be both unethical and less effective, as emotional stress negatively impacts the bioelectric resonance patterns. Dr. Zarath brought up another important point. We also need to consider the effects on the human subjects. Elena, you have been exposed to Zephyrian biology for weeks now. We should monitor you for any changes. The medical scans on Elena revealed surprising results. Rather than being harmed by the exposure, her own biological systems seemed to be enhanced. Her immune function was stronger, her cellular regeneration was faster, and her neural activity showed increased complexity. It appears that the reproductive catalyst effect works both ways, Dr. Velthar observed. While humans help restore alien reproductive function, the interaction also benefits human biology. A symbiotic relationship, Elena mused. Both species benefit from the interaction. Queen Zelandra's light patterns pulsed with excitement when she heard these results. This changes everything. If the process benefits both species, we can propose true partnerships rather than one-sided assistance. But the most significant breakthrough came during the fourth week of research. Dr. Zareth discovered that Elena's bioelectric field had been gradually strengthening since her arrival on Zephyria. Your electromagnetic output has increased by 30%, he reported, and the frequency range has expanded. You can now generate resonance patterns that could help even more alien species. Why is this happening? Elena asked. We believe it's an adaptive response, Dr. Velthar explained. Your human biology is responding to the needs of the species around you. It's as if your body is learning to optimize the reproductive catalyst effect. Elena looked at the data showing her changing bioelectric patterns. So humans might naturally adapt to help whatever species they encounter? That's our theory. Your species appears to have evolved as universal biological catalysts, not just for reproduction, but for genetic diversity and species survival in general. Queen Zilandra stepped forward, her light patterns showing deep amazement. Elena, do you understand what this means? Humans aren't just another species in the galaxy. You are biological guardians of life itself. Elena felt the weight of this revelation. Humanity had always wondered about their place in the universe. Now she was learning that they might be nature's solution to extinction, living keys that could unlock the reproductive potential of dying civilizations. But with such power comes enormous responsibility, she said quietly. Yes, the Queen agreed. Which is why we must be very careful about how we share this knowledge. The galaxy must understand that humans are partners to be respected, not resources to be exploited. Dr. Velthar activated a final display showing projected population recovery curves for various alien species. If we can establish proper protocols and partnerships, we could reverse the extinction trends affecting dozens of civilizations within a few generations. Elena studied the hopeful projections, knowing that she stood at the center of a discovery that would reshape galactic civilization. Humanity's greatest gift to the universe wasn't technology or conquest. It was the ability to bring new life to worlds that had forgotten how to create it. Then we better get to work, she said with determination. The galaxy is counting on us. Elena was reviewing research data in her laboratory when the emergency alarms began echoing through the Crystal Palace. Red warning lights pulsed along the walls as Queen Zilandra's voice filled the communication system. All human diplomatic personnel report to the throne room immediately. We have received urgent transmissions from across the galaxy. Elena rushed through the crystal corridors, her heart pounding. In the throne room, she found Captain Morrison and the rest of the human diplomatic team gathered around holographic displays showing dozens of alien vessels approaching Zephyria. What's happening? Elena asked. Captain Morrison looked worried. Word about our research has spread faster than we expected. Representatives from 17 different alien civilizations are demanding immediate meetings. Queen Zilandra materialized. Beside them, her light patterns flickering with stress. Dr. Vasquez, I'm afraid our discovery has created a galactic crisis. Every dying civilization in this sector now sees humanity as their salvation. On the displays, Elena could see ships from species she had only read about in xenobiology textbooks. The sleek vessels of the Andromedans, the crystalline cruisers of the Vorthon Empire, and strange organic ships that belonged to species she couldn't identify. Some are requesting partnerships, the Queen continued. Others are making demands, and a few are threatening to take human subjects by force if we don't cooperate. Elena felt a chill run down her spine. They want to capture humans? The hegemony of Crix has already issued ultimatums, Captain Morrison said grimly. They claim that humanity's reproductive catalyst abilities make us a galactic resource that should be shared equally among all species. Dr. Velthar entered the throne room, his light patterns showing urgent concern. Your Majesty, we're receiving reports from human colonies throughout this sector. Several have been approached by alien fleets, demanding access to human volunteers. "This is exactly what we feared," Elena said. "Instead of being partners, humans are being treated like a commodity." Queen Zilandra's light patterns shifted to fierce protectiveness. "That will not happen while I rule Zephyria. Elena, you and your people are under our protection." Over the next few hours, diplomatic chaos erupted across the galaxy. The throne room filled with holographic representatives from dozens of alien civilizations, each demanding immediate access to human reproductive catalyst treatments. Ambassador Thekmore of the Andromedan Republic spoke first. "Our species has been declining for 2 centuries. We offer advanced technology and trade agreements in exchange for human assistance." "The Vorthon Empire offers better terms," declared High Commander Zixtal. "We control 12 star systems rich in rare minerals. Surely that is worth human cooperation." "Offers are irrelevant," growled General Krex of the hegemony. "The humans have a responsibility to save all dying species. They cannot choose favorites." Elena watched the arguments escalate, feeling overwhelmed by the intensity of desperate civilizations fighting for survival. These weren't evil conquerors. They were dying people grasping for hope. "Everyone stop," Elena called out, her voice echoing through the chamber. The alien representatives fell silent, turning their attention to her. "I understand your desperation," she continued. "Your civilizations are facing extinction, and you've found what appears to be a solution. But humans are not objects to be divided up among you. We are people with our own rights and freedoms." "But you have the power to save entire worlds," Ambassador Thekmore protested. "How can you deny us that chance?" "I'm not denying anyone," Elena replied. "I'm saying we need to find ethical solutions that respect everyone involved." Queen Zilandra stepped forward, her royal presence commanding attention. "Dr. Vasquez speaks wisdom. The Zephyrian Empire proposes the formation of a galactic reproductive council to establish fair protocols for human assistance." "What kind of protocols?" asked High Commander Zixtal. Elena took a deep breath, knowing her words would shape the future of human-alien relations. "First, all participation must be voluntary. No human can be forced to provide reproductive catalyst treatments against their will. Second," Queen Zilandra added, "partnerships must be mutual. Humans provide biological assistance, but alien civilizations must offer fair compensation, technology, resources, knowledge, or protection. Third," Elena continued, "we establish rotation systems. No single human should bear the burden of treating an entire species alone. Teams of volunteers can work together to help multiple civilizations." General Krex slammed his armored fist against his chair. "These restrictions are unacceptable. Our people are dying while you debate ethics." "And that's exactly why we need ethics," Elena shot back. "Desperation leads to bad decisions. If we don't establish proper protocols now, this will turn into exploitation and conflict." Dr. Velthar stepped forward with a data pad. "I have prepared preliminary calculations. With proper organization, teams of 50 human volunteers could provide reproductive catalyst treatments to preserve 12 different alien civilizations within 10 years. 50 humans to save billions of lives," Ambassador Thekmore mused. "The mathematics are compelling. But only if those 50 humans choose to participate," Elena emphasized, "and only if they're treated as honored partners, not captive resources." Over the following days, negotiations continued around the clock. Elena found herself at the center of complex discussions about interspecies cooperation, ethics, and survival. Some alien representatives were reasonable and willing to work within ethical guidelines. Others remained demanding and threatening. The breakthrough came when Queen Zilandra made an unexpected announcement. "The Zephyrian Empire has wonderful news to share with the galaxy." Elena felt her heart racing as the Queen's light patterns pulsed with joy and pride. Dr. Elena Vasquez's reproductive catalyst treatments have been successful beyond our greatest hopes. I am pleased to announce that I am expecting offspring, the first Zephyrian child to be conceived naturally in over 3 centuries. The throne. Room erupted in amazed chatter. Elena felt tears in her eyes as she realized the full impact of their work. This proves that our research is not just theory, the Queen continued. Humans truly can restore reproductive function to dying species, but this success came through partnership, respect, and voluntary cooperation. Ambassador Techmore leaned forward eagerly. When will you begin treatments for other species? When we have established proper ethical frameworks, Elena replied, firmly. Queen Zilandra's pregnancy is proof that our methods work. Now we must ensure they're used responsibly. General Krex stood angrily. The hegemony will not wait for your bureaucratic delays. Then the hegemony will receive no human assistance, Queen Zilandra declared, her light patterns flashing with authority. Any civilization that threatens or attempts to coerce humans will be banned from the Reproductive Council. Elena watched as the alien representatives realized that cooperation was their only path to survival. The Queen's pregnancy had changed. The balance of power. Now everyone knew that human assistance could work, but only through willing partnership. We propose a formal treaty, Elena announced. The Galactic Fertility Compact. Every participating civilization signs agreements protecting human rights while gaining access to reproductive catalyst treatments. And what of civilizations that refuse to sign? Asked High Commander Zixtal. Elena looked around the room at the desperate faces of dying species, knowing that her next words would determine the future of galactic civilization. Then they continue facing extinction alone, she said quietly, because humanity's greatest strength isn't our biological abilities. It's our commitment to doing what's right, even when it's difficult. The throne room fell silent as alien representatives contemplated a future where their survival depended not on force or demands, but on earning humanity's trust and cooperation. 6 months after the historic negotiations, Elena stood in the Crystal Palace's medical wing, watching Queen Zilandra cradle her newborn daughter. The tiny Zephyrian baby glowed with soft blue light, her crystalline form perfect and healthy. It was the first natural birth on Zephyria in over 3 centuries. She is beautiful, Your Majesty, Elena said softly. Her name is Zelana, the Queen replied, her light patterns pulsing with pure joy. It means new beginning in our ancient language. She represents hope for our entire civilization. Dr. Velthar approached with medical scanners, his excitement barely contained. Elena, the birth was completely successful. All biological systems function perfectly. The Queen's reproductive health is better than we ever dared hope. Elena smiled as she watched the baby queen reach tiny crystal fingers toward the light. This moment represented the success of everything they had worked for. Proof that humanity's gift could truly save dying civilizations. How are the other programs progressing? Elena asked. Excellently, Dr. Velthar replied. The Andromedan Republic has reported their first successful pregnancy in 2 centuries. The Vorthen Empire has had 17 couples begin the treatment process. Even some of the smaller civilizations are showing remarkable progress. Over the past months, Elena had helped establish the Galactic Fertility Compact. 43 alien civilizations had signed the treaty, agreeing to respect human rights and dignity in exchange for reproductive catalyst assistance. The program had grown beyond anything she originally imagined. Captain Morrison entered the medical wing carrying official documents. Elena, these just arrived from Earth. The United Nations has ratified the compact and approved the establishment of the Human Reproductive Assistance Corps. The Corps? Elena asked. Over 2,000 human volunteers from across Earth's colonies have applied to join the program. They'll receive specialized training in xenobiology and diplomacy before being assigned to assist different alien civilizations. Elena felt amazed by her species' response to the galaxy's crisis. When humanity learned that dying civilizations needed their help, thousands had volunteered without hesitation. "There's more good news," Captain Morrison continued. "The technology exchanges are exceeding expectations. The Andromedans have shared their advanced space drive systems. The Vorthons are teaching us energy manipulation techniques that could revolutionize human industry." Queen Zilandra looked up from her daughter. "And the Zephyrian Empire has begun construction of joint research facilities in 3 human star systems. Our civilizations will work together to understand the reproductive catalyst effect even better." Elena walked to the window overlooking the crystal city below. In the months since baby Zelana's conception, the entire atmosphere of Zephyria had changed. The streets were more lively, the light patterns of citizens were brighter, and there was an energy of hope and possibility that hadn't existed before. "Dr. Vasquez," came a familiar voice. Elena turned to see Dr. Zareth approaching with a data pad. "We have received remarkable reports from the field teams." "What kind of reports?" "The human volunteers working with other species are developing enhanced abilities similar to yours. Extended exposure to alien biology is strengthening their reproductive catalyst effects and expanding their bioelectric range." Elena studied the data showing increased electromagnetic output from human volunteers across the galaxy. "So we're all adapting to help more species?" "Exactly. It appears that humans naturally evolved to meet the biological needs of whatever civilizations they encounter. Your species is even more remarkable than we initially understood." Queen Zilandra stood carefully, still holding her baby daughter. "Elena, there is something important I must share with you. Something that will change everything again." Elena felt her heart skip. "What is it, Your Majesty?" "We have been contacted by the Galactic Council, the governing body of the oldest civilizations in this galaxy. They wish to meet with you." "The Galactic Council?" Elena had heard legends of ancient species that had ruled the galaxy for millions of years. "They have watched our success with great interest," the Queen continued, "and they have revealed something extraordinary. Other galaxies are facing similar extinction crises. Civilizations throughout the universe are losing their ability to reproduce naturally." Captain Morrison stepped forward. "Are you saying this problem exists beyond our galaxy?" "Yes, and the Council believes that humanity may be the universe's solution to a cosmic-scale extinction event that has been building for eons." Elena felt overwhelmed by the implications. "They want humans to help save species across multiple galaxies? They want to offer humanity something unprecedented," Queen Zilandra said. "Membership in the Galactic Council itself, not as junior partners, but as equal participants in governing interstellar civilization." Elena looked down at baby Zelana, whose soft light pulsed gently in her mother's arms. This tiny life represented just the beginning of humanity's impact on the universe. "But there's more," Dr. Velthar added excitedly. "The Council has technology that could enhance human reproductive catalyst abilities even further. They could help us develop treatments that work faster and more effectively." "In exchange for what?" Elena asked cautiously. "Partnership," Queen Zilandra replied. "True partnership in governing the galaxy and eventually expanding to help civilizations in other galaxies as well." Elena walked back to the window, looking out at the bustling crystal city. In the distance, she could see construction crews building new residential areas, preparing for the population growth that would come as more Zephyrian couples successfully reproduced. "Captain Morrison, what does Earth think about all this?" Elena asked. "The initial reaction is amazement and pride," he replied. "Humanity has gone from being a relatively unknown species to potentially becoming guardians of life throughout the universe. The United Nations is preparing a formal response to the Council's invitation." Elena turned back to Queen Zilandra. Your Majesty, when you first told me that I might hold the key to saving your civilization, did you imagine it would lead to this? The Queen's light patterns shifted to deep gratitude and affection. No, Elena. I hoped only to save my own people. I never dreamed that your species would become the biological guardians of the entire universe. Baby Zalana made a soft sound, her tiny light patterns flickering with contentment. Elena reached out to gently touch the baby's crystal hand. She'll grow up in a galaxy where no species has to face extinction alone, Elena said softly. Where cooperation and partnership have replaced desperation and conflict. Thanks to humanity's greatest gift, Queen Zilandra added, not just your reproductive catalyst abilities, but your moral strength. Your species could have exploited your power for dominance. Instead, you chose to use it for healing and hope. Elena looked around the medical wing, filled with advanced alien technology being used to support new life. Human volunteers and alien scientists worked together, sharing knowledge and building friendships across species barriers. I need to return to Earth, Elena announced, to help prepare humanity for what's coming. If we're going to be guardians of galactic life, we need to do it properly. The Zephyrian Empire will provide full support, Queen Zilandra promised, and we will never forget that you gave us our future back. Elena smiled as she prepared to leave Zephyria, knowing she would return many times. Baby Zelana would grow up in a universe where humanity had found its true purpose, not as conquerors or traders, but as the species that helped others remember how to create new life and new hope. The galaxy was no longer dying. It was learning to live again, with humanity as its teachers and guardians. And beyond the stars, other galaxies waited for the same gift of renewal that only humans could provide.